Hello, brothers and sisters. Thanks for joining me again today. This is going to be another one in my series about Charlie Kirk, trying to understand who the man was. And one of my commenters sent me a link and said, hey, take a look at this. Charlie Kirk was for public executions. He's a wicked person. I'm like, okay, let me see what I think about that. Now, right off the top, let me tell you, this one interested me a lot because I've actually made similar comments to that talking to friends where I've said things like, society is so messed up today with the internet and everything. We've got school shootings that there used to not be. Maybe we should bring back public executions. Maybe that would help. Now, I don't know if it will, but I've actually made that same comment. So we'll see what Charlie Kirk had to say about it, and I'll let you guys know if I agree or disagree. I haven't watched this yet. It's an interesting intellectual exercise, and at the end, I'll tell you what I think about it, but let's watch this. It's about 4 minutes long, so it shouldn't take us too long. I'm going to try to just watch it and not interrupt, but we'll see.
I just looked this up, Charlie. I didn't realize this, Jack. The last time that in Belarus they used capital execution here was in 2019, and it was by firearm.
Yeah, that's how you should. By the way, this is my other problem with death penalty. It takes too long, too many appeals.
Expensive.
It should be public. It should be quick. It should be televised.
Okay, I agree with him on a little bit here right off the bat. It takes way too long to do the death penalty in America. So I believe it's ineffective because people sit on death row for like 20 years. And I'm for it, by the way. I'm for the death penalty. So if you're against the death penalty, then of course you would say that it's wicked. But I'm actually for it. But my problem with it is it takes too long. And the second thing is, every once in a while they get it wrong and an innocent person is on death row. Those are the two things that give me pause because I don't want to put an innocent person to death, but there are some people that are so horrible, I don't want them back in civil society ever. Like the murderer of Charlie Kirk. I'm fine with him getting a death penalty. I do not want him to be able to walk the streets and murder again.
Use capital execution here was in 2019, and it was by firearm.
Yeah, that's how you should. By the way, this is my other problem with death penalty. It takes too long, too many appeals.
Expensive.
It should be public. It should be quick. It should be televised.
Well, this can't be right, can it? The last execution in France was guillotine in 1977.
100% true. They used the guillotine.
Until 77?
Yeah.
That's so cool.
There's videotape of it.
Honestly, that's like what we should be doing, and I agree. It should be public
And
should be
televised.
public square.
By the way, you could fund
force
the
kids
government
to watch it.
You could have like brought to you by Coca-Cola. And no, I'm not kidding. By the way, I would totally tune in to see some pedo get their head chopped off. Convicted by a jury
By the
of
way,
peers.
that's going to get
No,
called out.
I'm talking about a real thing. I'm not talking
All
about
executions in Belarus are by firearm. That's
No,
not a choice or anything.
Andrew's saying don't make kids watch it, and I think no, the
Well, I
absolute
think at a
opposite.
certain age, it's an initiation.
16, if you
I
can
think-
drive, you can
No,
watch
but hold
it.
on.
Not
You
even
see,
16.
if
I would
all of a
say-
sudden you look at some of these savages, like in Indiana, there was this guy that went in and killed a pregnant woman and her 3 kids.
Yeah.
And you know what? I want to watch that execution. That'll make my day better. I want to see him on a public block and get him be publicly executed. And I think that would be justice. You think children should have? You should see it. What is the age? At what age should you start to see public executions?
16.
I think you could do it earlier. I think you maybe at age 12,
Whenever-
like 6th grade or so. You are a person. They're old enough to. You don't need to like really wallow in it and have them be broken on a wheel or anything. But if it was something like chopping, if we had a guillotine or something.
I think it's the age where they can't be, I think there's too early and you become desensitized to maybe like this. I think it's when you can actually embrace.
But it should also be
the
taken
meaning.
in a holy way.
The meaning.
No, I don't mean holy in a bad way. I mean that like this is heavy.
Like, this is the
Bluntly,
meaning
we have
of it.
kids who are 14 who are committing carjackings
100%.
in cities and doing
Yes.
bad stuff. And I think
Yeah, you're
if you
probably
sent the
right.
message to them, if you do a bad crime, you will die, and it will be like this, and that
No,
will
but
be
just-
you.
just
But I think it
would be
tears
a
down.
positive message.
So
If-
my argument would be younger people get involved with that because they're around older people who do those things.
I want you to imagine
And gangs.
every day, all of a sudden they said, and today, remember that awful the guy that went and shot up a school? Because, the left hates school shooters, and so do we. But they focus on the gun. I think they're evil. So, you take one of these school shooters, and they say, today we're going to publicly execute this person. And
About
they read
the
off
Super Bowl.
No, the shooters at the Super Bowl thing, and you read off what they did.
parade,
and
not
you
the-
don't celebrate it. You just say, look, this is what they did. And if you do this, this will be your fate. Ready, set, go. Boom. End of life. And say
guillotine.
I just
Scared Straight used to be a whole TV show.
No, but
like, this is Scared Straight for everybody.
Here's a question for anyone that might be, not persuaded. Would crime go up or down?
It would go way down.
Done. So that why is this even a question?
Well, they'll say it's not a deterrent, and it's not because
of course it's a deterrent, though.
And our current system is just as dumb as it could possibly be.
You get a last meal. No, they should make you eat bran.
It's that it's only done for a tiny minority of even murderers. Only a handful of murderers actually get it, and then their odds of getting executed are very low. And it happens 25 years later. You have to run articles in the newspaper to remind people why this bad person was on death row in the first place.
I'm going to tell you, this is what's so frustrating about American culture. I mean, we took all the best parts of Greek culture and Roman culture and French culture and the Revolution and everything else, and we didn't keep this part. Like, we have the Colosseums for sports, but we don't have it for this. I totally agree with this sentiment. Is like we shouldn't make it like a celebration.
No, it should be a heavy thing.
It should be a heavy thing. It's corporal punishment.
By the way,
it's capital punishment.
That was a kind of a heavy episode, and I don't know if I can give a definitive opinion on this one, because this one's a rough one. There's a lot of pieces to this. I do agree with him that if we could do really quick public executions, it probably would be a deterrent. The problem today is the death penalty takes so long and it's so infrequently used, it's not a real deterrent. But if you watched public executions, that might actually deter crime. So from that perspective, it's okay. The televised part and getting Coca-Cola for a sponsor, that sounds crazy. And the hard part for me is really the kids part. I'm all for deterring kids, but I'm also for protecting kids. Kids play really violent video games all the time, and that's okay. But what age can they play the violent video games? Is it 12? Is it whatever? I'm going to have to think harder about this, but I think my initial take is no, it doesn't get televised. Perhaps it could be public, but only for adults. And by adults, you reach the age of majority for whatever country you're in. So in America, that would be 18. I would be okay with that. And that's my initial gut reaction, because I really don't think we need kids seeing that. But on the flip side, if it would help deter all the crime and get people back on the straight and narrow, I am for that. If crime goes down, because if crime goes down, then there's less of these anyway. So this is a tough one, but yeah. So that's, I think, my opinion. But I hadn't thought about this. I hadn't even watched this video till just now. So I may change my mind about this once I think about it some more. But I think, yeah, I'd be all for public executions up to the age of majority. And for my commenter that says it's wicked, people have done this for a long time. I looked it up. The last judicial public execution in America was in 1936, not even 100 years ago. So it's not been that long that we stopped. People used to get all dressed up and go to executions and take the kids in their Sunday best. Crazy as that sounds to us today. And then also on the wicked topic, there are several countries in the world today that still do public executions. Now, most of them are in the Middle East. So it's Iran, Saudi Arabia, you got Somalia and Afghanistan. So that's 4 all Muslim countries and North Korea. So would you say that Muslims are wicked because they do public executions? So for me, I can't logically tie that together, that just because you're for public executions, you're wicked. There are some good, reasoned, sound arguments for doing it, and people have done it for a long time. Like the gentleman on the video said, France used the guillotine up until the 1700s. Back in Scotland, where I'm originally from, William Wallace got drawn and quartered and then beheaded in public. So it was very common practice in the past. It's just with today's community sensibilities, we don't do that anymore. So does that mean everyone in the past was wicked? I don't think so. It was a different time, and they had a different sense of justice at the time. So I'm not quite with Charlie on this one. I don't think I want it to be televised. I don't think I want it to be kids, but public executions, yeah. Like and subscribe if you like this. If you don't like it, don't watch me. Let me know what you think in the comments. I'm sure this one's going to be spicy. Bye.